This is Eldritch Song of Seraphim, and I'm in another triple Mirrodin Besieged draft. So looking at this first pack, really, this actually is a pretty pathetic pack. There's nothing terribly exciting in here. The rare is lame, and well, really, I guess you could just say almost all the cards in here are fairly lackluster. The best card in the pack, in my opinion, is Strandwalker. It's probably reasonably closely followed, I suppose, by Master's Call, which is a good card, but tends to go late. So really, I think the only card worth first picking in this situation probably is the Strandwalker, just because it doesn't put us into a color. It can be played in any deck, and a 2/4 with reach that can be attached to any creature is pretty sweet. So that's the pick here, and hopefully the next couple packs will cement us into some kind of color. Alright, so couple things here. My favorite card, personally, is this Vanguard Marauder. I think that card is just amazing, and I don't see why. Well, I mean, maybe it's not first pick material. I would understand that. But I am tempted here to actually just grab the Vanguard Marauder. We didn't pass any green in the last pack, and might as well cut it off now. Only thing we're passing is the Glitter's Courier, which always goes late. Nobody tends to pick those highly, so that's not going to throw anybody into green. The other cards that I do like in here, I like Signal Pest, and I like Spin Engine. Those are the only two cards that I would consider. I guess Virulent Wound's also quite a good card. But I think in terms of sheer power, Vanguard Marauder is the pick. Alright, so there are a few good cards in this pack. First of all, there is, let's see, Quicksilver Geyser, Morbid Plunder, Tangle Hulk. In this situation, probably if I'm going to try to go green, I would take Tangle Hulk, just to continue cutting off that color. And that seems like a reasonable choice. Nothing else here is so good that I need to pick it up now. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the Tangle Hulk. Alright, so not much going on in this pack either. Cards that I do like Lean in the Sky Hunter. I also like Vivisection. I think in general I like blue green as an archetype, but green white might be possible. That said, I'd probably still prefer just to go blue green, because I just think blue's a very strong color. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this Vivisection and pass. Alright, so nothing really here except for Goblin War Driver, which is a sick card. The only other card I consider taking out of this pack would be a Flare Husk. But the fact that this War Driver is here this late maybe means red's open, and I don't really want to pass up a potential open color here. So I'm going to go ahead and take Goblin War Driver and see where it goes. Alright. So, my opinion, the best card in this pack is Quicksilver Geyser. Like I said, I don't mind going green-white if we have to do that, or even blue, not green-white, but blue-green, or even blue-red, depending on how these colors work out. I think the card, though, that, like I said, the best card of this pack is Quicksilver Geyser by far. So that's the pick. Alright, and that turns out to be a reasonable move, because here the two most decent cards probably are the blue cards. For green, I like Pistol Strike. So it's really between those three cards, and I think here I just like to take an Oculus. The Pistol Strike goes pretty late. Alright, so the best card in the pack probably is Gore Vassal, but there's also a Mirrodin Spy and a Flare Husk. I actually prefer to take a Flare Husk because Mirrodin Spy is just, they're never ending. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a Flare Husk for a 1-drop. Alright, so we're back to our first pack, and unsurprisingly, it's still very, very bad. So I guess the only card I would consider taking here would be Mirrodin Metal. None of these cards are terribly good. But actually, I think I might just take the rare. I might just rare draft here. So that's going to be the pick, even though it's not going to be played, more than likely. Alright, so this pack, I'm actually reasonably happy to go ahead and take the counterspell. I don't think it's that good in this format, but at least one counterspell is not terrible. And it might not make the main deck, but at least we have it as an option. And I'm not going to play two, so I'm just going to go ahead and take a Hexplate Golem. I've heard good things about that card. I don't tend to like it, but it's something at least. Alright, so this is kind of good that a blue card came this late. Maybe that means it's open. Go ahead and grab that. Not a very good card. Gonna hide that and hide the Golem. Probably hide a Fuel for the Cause. So we're really not cemented exactly in any kind of color. Doesn't matter which card I take there. We've got more blue cards, but I think the best card still out of everything here is still the Finger Marauder. So hopefully we get some green. It could be that green's just being cut off pretty hard, or that just maybe there's just nothing green being passed. We'll see the next couple packs how that goes. Alright. So, this is an interesting pack. The rare here is Phyrexian Rebirth, which is a sick card. It's not amazing, but for sure it can win you the game if you get it off in the right spot. The only other card I would consider taking here would be the Burn the Impure. So it really is between taking a red card or taking a white card. Burn the Impure is awesome, but I feel that the Rebirth is probably just better. Didn't see that many awesome white cards being passed, so it's possible we can still get into that color. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Rebirth and pass, and hopefully maybe it'll be justified in the next couple picks. Alright, well that said, there's a Blue Sun Zenith, but I think probably a better card than Blue Sun Zenith by far is Corrupted Conscience. I don't think the Zenith won't come back, even if no guy that takes it's not playing blue. He'll just draft it because it's a rare. But here, the best card is by far the Corrupted Conscience. So that's the pick. All right. So I guess if we're gonna try to go white, we could try to take the Divine Offering. The only other card to consider besides that would be the Seraphim Raker. I do like Divine Offering though, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that. It might just be blue-white. Then again, there is a Finger Marauder and a Blight Widow. Though in the white spot there's a Gore Vassal, not good enough. Alright, so Finger Marauder is awesome. Blight Widow, though, is sweet. This is a tough pick. The reason I say that is because Finger Marauders tend to go late just because people don't know how good he is yet for some reason. Blight Widows, though, are pretty obvious that they're sweet. I'm going to go ahead and take the Blight Widow here just because this draft is not being kind to me. It's just throwing me all over the place. Alright, so here I like Gust Skimmer. It just won't let us pick a color, I don't think. The best card in this pack is Tide Hunter. I mean, it's Leaning Sky Hunter. But let's see. Not not gonna play three colors. Not gonna play. Might not play white at this point. So with that in mind, a Rusted Slasher is not a bad card. Alright, so guess we're committed to green and blue. So go ahead and take a Tangle Mantis. Let's hide the Divine Offering and the Rebirth. Pretty happy here to take a Serum Raker. Alright, so Still Sabotage is a sweet card that we're going to main deck. Alright, here's between Tangle Mantis or Pistis Strike. I think right now I'd rather have a Tangle Mantis. Though, let's see. Yeah, Tangle Mantis is good here. Pistis Strike is sweet, and it's good against flyers. Hopefully we'll be able to pick up a couple of those later on. We do need, I guess the cards I would really like to see here, I would love some Mirrodin Emissaries. Maybe like another Blight Widow, another Fangren Marauder. And there are lots of really sweet cards for green and blue that I could use in this deck. Alright, so might as well go with our same game plan and take up another Serum Raker. That was a pretty good late pick. Alright, so none of these cards are really great, but at least the Spire Serpent can be played in our deck. And it's a good blocker, so if we face some kind of really aggressive poison deck, not a bad card to bring in. We are really heavy though on the curve. We need to get some lower drops for. But you know, as soon as I say that, of course, the only pickable card here is a 7 drop. Probably won't make it into the deck, but it's there. So we will have a bigger creature than everyone else's big creature. Alright, Turn the Tide actually is a decent sideboard card. Alright, so hopefully this next pack will get some nice low drops. Maybe a bomb, like a Consecrated Sphinx or something. That card just wins games. Alright, and we get a Forest. A Scars of Mirrodin Forest. Disappointing. At least give me Mirrodin Besieged Forests. Okay. This is interesting. There's Burn the Impure. Not playing red though. Think I'd rather just take. It seems kind of sad, but I think I'd rather actually take just a Mirrodin Emissary here. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I need low drops, need mana acceleration for this high curve. I'd also like a Plague Mirror, but what can you do? Alright, so next pack. And best card by far is the Flame Fiend. There really is nothing else here worth grabbing. 2 cards for us, Oculus or a Glissa's Courier. I like the Courier because it's a low drop, but I think Oculus is probably the better pick here. And that's kind of sad considering this red card here. Alright. Really? Alright, well, I can't pass a Go for the Throat. So, we might just have to splash black for a Go for the Throat. Nothing else in this pack really screams out. I mean, there's some good removal. This pack is really good for removal, actually. It's got Divine Offering, Spread the Sickness, and Go for the Throat. Only other card here I consider taking would be a Rot Wolf, Oculus, or possibly a Mirror Spy. I think here I'd rather just take a Go for the Throat and try to splash black. Alright, so here we have the option between a Serum Raker or a Tangle Mantis, and I actually just like to have a third Serum Raker. Hopefully we'll get back this Pistis Strike. Alright, so fourth Serum Raker? No, I don't think so. This instance, I think I'd rather have a Malera's Keeper. Against poison decks, this thing is just unstoppable. So that's the pick. This curve is terrible though. We don't have any 3-drops. Our 2-drops are pathetic. We really need to get some. I would love to have more Viridian Emissaries, but it's so late now. Alright, well, can't pass up a second Fangren Marauder. This is the most awkward curve. It looks good here, but the fact that there's no 3-drops, that's what's throwing off the curve. Once we get to 4 mana, we're going to be unstoppable, but jeez, getting there. Might have to cut Tanglehawk or Strandwalker just to make it look more reasonable. Obviously, we're not going to play the Spire Serpent. We might just sideboard the Keepers. It looks a bit better. Keepers will come in to replace the Tanglehawk. Go for the throat. Alright, so here, Tangle Mantis. Not a bad card to pick. We should not be short on creatures. Two-Finger Marauders is pretty good. Though it would be nice to have some artifact removal. But we'll see. At this late stage, most of that's gone. And we're out of luck. But who knows, we could have a few good late picks. Right here, I'd actually like to have a Pistis Strike over a Mirrodin Spy, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that. For our first 3-drop, now it really reveals how weird the curve is. So hopefully, I mean, I wouldn't mind a few Mirrodin Spies, just to fill out that curve a bit more. Maybe some Glissa's Couriers, that would be useful. So none of these blue cards do anything for me. I don't want to play 2 Vivisections. I don't want to play the Infuser. So I think I'll just take the rare draft. I'll just take a Magnetic Mine. Not very good, but it's a rare. For whatever reason. Alright, so here, none of these cards do anything. Think I'll just take another sideboard card. Alright, so there's a Mirrodin Spy. That's not a bad pick. I'm happy with that. Let's see what else we get. Okay, Morbid Plunder shouldn't be that late. I'm going to go ahead and steal that. Alright, same thing. None of these cards do anything. Going to go ahead and take a Fuel for the Cause. Not that I intend to play it, but just to have it. So pretty much like if I get rid of this Rusted Slasher, you're basically looking at the deck right there. Probably play 2 Swamps and then play the rest with blue-green land. Go for the throw, it's just solid. It's between. I mean, I guess the other color I could splash would be white for Divine Offering and Phyrexian Rebirth. Well, let's take a look at what the deck looks like. So that Blight Widow, Tangle Mantis. Let's get all those in there. Let's see, don't want that. Finger Marauders, yes. Still Sabotage, yes. Oculus, both of them. The Mirrodin Spy, the Vivisection, the three Serum Rakers, the Geyser, and the Corrupted Conscience. Right, those are solid cards. Alright, so we want the Gust Skimmer, and we want a Tangle Hulk. And I guess a Strandwalker would be pretty solid. I think we can main deck a Pista Strike as well. Alright, so here are our other options. Flare Husk, I like that in the deck. So we have room for one more card, and see, there's our white cards. I think it would be hard to splash white for the Phyrexian Rebirth. Let's take a look at our colors real quick. So we're pretty intensive on both colors, so I don't really want to splash a double-costed mana color like that. One thing we can do is play the Go for the Throat and the Divine Offering, but that just seems weak. I guess here we gotta decide which one we like better. Being able to destroy artifacts and gain life, or to destroy creatures. I think I'd rather probably just destroy creatures with Go for the Throat. So take that instead. Alright, that looks reasonable. Alright, so look at our colors here. We're going to play 17 lands, so let's do 9, 7, and 1. See what Magic Online says. 9, 7, and 1. That's creepy. But that looks fine. Yeah, I think that's good enough. So that's the deck so far. Few good cards, nothing to write home about. Once again, didn't get any good rare pulls, but at least get a chance to play. So I'm gonna submit this, and then I'll see you in matches. Alright, so